have any concerns about anything?
Honestly, I don't really know what I'm looking at. But yeah, I mean, it all looked pretty good, I guess. So I think they readjusted turn eight maybe from yesterday, and I think they're still maybe gonna add like a decal at the apex little wall there. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. It looked good, I guess.
What are your expectations for this race coming in? I know you're someone who just kind of goes out there and just gets the most out of the car, but what are your expectations for year two here?
I don't know. I mean, I thought we were actually kind of rewatching the couple days back from last year. We were a lot better than I remembered being. So that's promising because I think we'll be better hopefully this time around. So yeah, I do remember enjoying it though. Like I remember having a lot of fun. So yeah, I look forward to it. Hopefully our car is even a little bit better and we can challenge for the win a little bit easier.
You were on Sirius the other day, and when they asked you about Hamlin, you said, "Hey, look, I want to move on, and I want to go back to having fun racing him." Can you define what fun is? Because some of the things that you guys do, I think you guys consider fun, and we're looking at it and going, "Holy cow, they got to be ticked off at each other." So when you say when you say fun, what does fun that you hope to, what does that look like, and what do you want that to be?
I don't know, just feeling like you can trust the moves that somebody's going to make on you, and I feel like that's when you can have close racing and trust what they're going to do. I think that's fun to me. Yeah, I've always enjoyed racing him, a lot, before I guess middle of last year. But no, so I mean, I think I'm sure we can get back to that point. And we've had fun racing each other, since Pocono. There's just been a few instances where I feel like, I've just been ran out of space a little more than maybe somebody else would put me in a situation. But yeah, I mean, I guess that can just be considered racing sometimes.
Because again, that goes back to I think of like if you make a slider where it can be a real close move, that can be fun, but that can also be maybe looked at as like, holy cow, I can't believe they did that because there's so little space. But I guess it goes back to the trust factor because.
Well, I just think when you're on the receiving end of a slider, if you're talking about like dirt, when you have an option to like crossover, like that's, fair and fun. But when you aim at somebody's Nerf bar, that's the other guy's not having much fun. So that's where the moves that I've been, a part of that I didn't really feel like I've had much of an option sometimes. But so if I can I'm talking like 2 inches more space, like would be great.
There was some speculation or some commentary after last week that maybe you wouldn't have done the same move last week if it wasn't Hamlin in front of you. Is that true?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure because I didn't have somebody in front of me to know how I would have raced. I would have ultimately known that I would need clean air, on the nose no matter who's in front of me. But yeah, I mean, I guess maybe you'd be less likely to be as dumb and aggressive as I was maybe. But so yeah, but again, you don't really know until you are put in that situation.
Going back, who's more frustrating, Denny Hamlin or Tyler Mon?
Who's more frustrating?
Frustrating. Frustrating.
Frustrating.
Yeah, like you've been angry at both, it seems like, the last 2 weeks.
No, Denny, but no, because Tyler and I, we get along really well. So, and we have, a close enough relationship. We can talk to each other about it after and joke about it. So we were laughing about New Hampshire as I got into the car before we refired. So no, we're all good there.
Part of the choice is that the drivers look at SMT sometimes to judge what the intent was versus what actually happened on the track when there is an altercation. I'm wondering if you've done that and how deeply you can look at the data to ascertain what happened.
I'm not really one to look at data a whole lot. I feel like I have got a pretty good understanding of what happens in the moment. And then, yeah, I mean, I could watch like film to verify whether that's what I thought had happened. So, I don't know. I don't really think of it like even Pocono last year. I don't remember looking at SMT, or at least throughout my own tablet that I have. In our team meeting, we kind of go over stuff like that. But no, I don't really use SMT for all that. I feel like I've got a decent judgment of what happens most times just through my 2 eyes.
Sorry, have you and Denny spoken over the last couple of weeks?
Not yet, no.
With having better weather expected this week and you guys having a year or at least a try on the course, do you expect it to be a lot closer? Do you expect another SVG situation? He doesn't. He thinks you guys, it's going to be a whole
Well, I mean,
shebang.
we hope that we're closer to him, but you just don't know. So I would imagine we would be a little bit closer. I think probably car setups are probably a little bit more optimized. I think drivers are going to be more optimized. So I think it'd be a little bit tougher, but he's also, I would assume, going to be better than he was last year as well. So I don't know. We'll see. I think we all look forward to the challenge of trying to compete with a guy that's that good and has the experience that he has. So, for me, I get 2 opportunities at that
That's
with
what I was gonna
Xfinity.
ask.
So I'm looking forward to that and hopefully learning throughout today. But we'll see. I felt like I feel like with him, like some of us can go as fast as him, but his racecraft is just way better than ours. Like, I mean, last year, like, he was making passes that I've never seen before. That pass for the lead, the passes into turn 2, and making it look really easy. So he sees things different than us, and he's able to execute it, better than us because he's really experienced. So. When you can race with a guy like that, it just elevates everybody. So it's cool.
What impressed you with that move that he made on Haley? What was so special about it from your perspective that I can't get that sense?
Well, like we were walking, and I was walking with Scott Speed and Ross, and I was like, man, like that move he made last year was probably like the sickest move I've ever seen on a road course for a pass. Because like I just try and put myself in like his position. Where you pass for in turn 2, like, okay. And then Justin Haley's crossed him over. Like, in my mind, I'm like, damn, like, all right, I'll try again when we get to 6. Like, but he sees things different, because he knew he could lift, make that move, and still outbrake him and get position. Like, until then, I wouldn't have seen that. So, it was just, and I was like 4th or 5th at that point, and I saw it, from out my windshield. I was like, holy shit, like, that was incredible, So that's what I'm saying. Like, he just sees things with his experience different. Like, his racecraft is just way better than ours.
So how have you gotten better then? Because you wanted
made that move, so.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. I think our car was really good there. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I think you study, but you don't really know, like, if it's really paying off or not.
How will having the double file restarts change the game in the first couple of corners compared to the single file and somewhat orderly procession last year?
I'm not sure. I think you just be closer to making a move into turn 1 potentially than you were single file, but I don't know. I think watching it didn't seem like a big deal last year in the Xfinity race. It seems to get kind of single filed pretty quickly off at turn 12, so I don't think it's going to be as big of a factor as what we probably all thought it would have been last year.
To that point, will having that Xfinity race also help practice, especially since, in the dry, since last year was all wet?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I just get up to speed a little bit quicker to benefit, practice and qualifying for the Cup car. I imagine braking zones and braking points and the technique of shifting and all that's different. So, it's hard to learn a ton like you would have been able to before, but laps are laps. So, coming to a track like this that's so unique, it's hopefully going to be beneficial.
Thank you.
I'm curious for your second and third spotter. Do you want them to give you any other information, or is it just merely a simple, there's a car around you, that kind of thing?
I don't know. You can get information and filter out what you want to process or not,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I'm not sure. Like, Cliff had talked to me this week, like, hey, do you want me to let you know, like, proximity to the walls and stuff? And I told him I didn't really want to know that because I feel like if I know that if I could get 6 more inches, I might grab 12 and then hit the wall. So, I don't think that I want.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to get into a rhythm, and I'm like kind of that way most ovals and road courses. The less talking I feel like for me is sometimes better.
And then
And we both have said that a lot of it comes from us running in the same position most times, right? I mean, when you look down to it, we've raced each other for a lot of wins over the last few years, and really, no matter what team he's driven for, he's competed for race wins. So yeah, I think a lot of that is because we run in the same place at the same time most times.
Has the relationship with Kyle changed at all over these last couple of weeks? Just because there's been a more, a higher volume of incidents over the last couple of weeks. Has the relationship changed at all within the last month or so?
It has its ups and downs, just like any other thing, honestly, and it goes through these moments at times. But I think that both can see through the other side of it for sure.
What gave Park say to you after the fact, because he was screaming at you on the radio? Was it as intense after?
No, it was not as intense after, for sure. But in the moment, he's trying to relay some information to me, and I don't think he feels like he had my attention at that exact moment. So that's why the volume probably turned up when it did.
And you mentioned SMT with Logano, and I'm wondering, because Corey LaJoie told us last night that he looked at Carson's SMT after what he did to find out how egregious it was. Can you kind of be judge and jury just looking at SMT?
Yeah, I mean, you can tell certainly those things. I mean, there's certain an element you use common sense, right? You just use your own two eyes and brain to come up with what you think happens. And sure, there's always that element of real data that can back it up, or maybe even cause even more questions to whether it was intentional or not. But I don't think anyone, should question kind of, the Carson thing last week. I think we all saw, kind of how it played out.
This is Custom Patch Hats. But what makes us custom? Well, that actually begins with you. We're just bringing your unique vision to life. No knockoffs, no lookalikes. Your design is one of a kind. We know hats, we know design, and we know quality. The proof? It's in our production. Hand-stitched with precision and care, with brands you know and trust. A one-of-a-kind patch deserves a one-of-a-kind treatment, all the way to your doorstep. It's how we keep it custom.